Right now, somewhere in the last 10 minutes, you checked your phone. You probably did not need to. There was no urgent message waiting, no crisis unfolding, just a pull, a quiet, almost invisible urge that moved your hand before your brain could even ask why. You are not weak. You are not addicted. You are doing exactly what your ancestors did for hundreds of thousands of years to survive. The problem is that the world changed. Your brain did not. Here is what nobody tells you. The same neural circuit that kept your great-great-grandmother alive on the savannah is the exact same circuit lighting up every time your phone buzzes. The mechanism is identical. Only the trigger is different. To understand why you cannot stop checking, you have to go back. Way back. Before cities. Before language as we know it. Before anything that looks like the world you live in today. Your ancestors lived in small groups. Bands of 15 to 50 people depending on resources and season. Your survival was not a solo project. It was entirely, completely, fatally dependent on your group. If you were cast out, you died. It was not dramatic, it was just biology. Alone on the Pleistocene landscape, a single human was almost always a dead human. This meant one thing above all else. You had to know what was happening in your group. Always. You had to track who was happy with you, who was angry, whether your status was rising or falling, whether there was news you had missed. Missing social information was not just uncomfortable. Missing social information could get you killed. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar spent decades studying the relationship between primate brain size and social group size. His finding, now called Dunbar's number, suggests that the human neocortex evolved largely to manage the complexity of tracking social relationships in groups of roughly 150 people. Your brain, at its deepest architectural level, is a social monitoring machine. It was built for one purpose: to never be caught off guard by what your group was doing. That monitoring instinct never turned off. It is running right now. So when your phone sits face down on the table and you feel that pull to flip it over, that is not a technology problem. That is a 200,000-year-old survival reflex asking a very simple question. What did I miss? But there is more happening inside your skull than simple curiosity. There is chemistry. Every time you check your phone and find something new, your brain releases a small burst of dopamine. Dopamine is often misunderstood. People call it the pleasure chemical. That is not quite right. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan spent years distinguishing between wanting and liking, and what he found reshapes everything. Dopamine does not create the feeling of pleasure. Dopamine creates the feeling of anticipation, the craving, the restless urge to seek. This is why checking once never feels like enough. You do not check your phone because it feels good. You check it because not checking it feels bad. The anticipation circuit is firing, and the only way to quiet it, temporarily, is to satisfy the seek. Your ancestors used this exact system to keep scanning the horizon for predators, for fruit, for signs of water, for the return of a hunting party. The system rewarded constant vigilance, constant checking, constant monitoring of the environment for anything new. It kept them alive. Now consider what the smartphone is from your brain's perspective. It is an infinite social environment. Every notification is a potential social signal. Every red badge is a possible status change. Every unread message is unknown information from your group. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a text from your best friend and a distant rustle in the grass that might be a lion. Both activate the same ancient circuit. Both demand immediate attention. Psychologist B.J. Fogg at Stanford mapped what he calls the behavior model, a framework showing that behavior happens at the intersection of motivation, ability, and a prompt. The smartphone is perhaps the most precisely engineered trigger system ever built. The prompt is always there. The ability requires zero effort. And the motivation, that deep evolutionary drive to monitor your social world, is baked into your neurology. You were never going to win that fight without understanding what you were fighting. And here is the counterintuitive part. The people most vulnerable to compulsive phone checking are often not the least disciplined. They are frequently the most socially intelligent, the people whose brains are most finely tuned to detect and respond to social signals, the most connected people. In another era, That sensitivity would have made them exceptional at navigating tribal politics, reading group dynamics, anticipating conflict before it arrived. In this era, it means their phone never really goes quiet inside their head. Think about the last time you put your phone in another room on purpose. Did it work? Or did you feel a low hum of unease? A vague sense that something might be happening that you were not tracking? That is not anxiety in the clinical sense. That is your social monitoring system doing its job. Doing the exact job it was designed to do. Loudly. There is a study from the University of Texas at Austin by Adrian Ward and colleagues that found something remarkable. Simply having your smartphone on your desk, face down, silent, reduces your available cognitive capacity. You do not even have to be tempted by it. Its mere presence occupies mental bandwidth because part of your brain is always running a background process, monitoring for social information, waiting for the signal. Your ancestors did not have the option to put down their awareness of the social environment. Neither, apparently, does your prefrontal cortex. This is not a moral failure. It is a design mismatch. You are a creature built for a world that no longer exists, running ancient software on modern hardware, surrounded by an industry that has spent billions of dollars reverse engineering your deepest evolutionary vulnerabilities. The apps you use were not designed to serve you. They were designed to capture the social monitoring reflex and never let it rest. The infinite scroll mimics the unpredictable reward patterns that neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz identified in dopamine-releasing neurons. The same patterns found in slot machines. The same patterns your ancestors encountered when foraging in an environment where food appeared unpredictably. Your brain was wired to never give up on an unpredictable reward. Giving up meant starvation. Now it means staring at a screen until 2 in the morning. Understanding this changes how you see yourself. You are not a person with a phone problem. You are an ancient organism in a radically new environment, running survival code that cannot be uninstalled. The urge to check is not a character flaw. It is proof that your brain is working exactly as designed. But knowing the design does not mean you have to obey it. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that developed most recently in evolutionary terms, has one remarkable capability that the older systems do not. It can hold a goal across time. It can say, not right now. It can override the pull. Not easily, not automatically, but deliberately, with practice and friction and intention. The people who have found ways to use their phones on their own terms are not people who want it less. They are people who understand the mechanism well enough to work with it instead of against it. They create distance, they introduce friction, they give the ancient monitoring system a scheduled window and close the rest. You are not broken. You are ancient. You are a creature built to track your world, to never miss a signal, to always know where your group stands. The only difference between now and then is that your group used to be 50 people in a valley somewhere. Now it is everyone, and the valley never closes. Tonight, when you reach for your phone and feel that pull before any thought forms, you will know exactly what is happening. 200,000 years of evolution, still doing its job, still scanning the horizon, still asking the same question it always asked. What did I miss? The answer is almost certainly nothing that matters. But your brain was never very good at almost certainly. It was built for survival, and survival does not wait.